Alright, so how good is Japanese music for immersing, and should you be using it or not, like mainly for immersion, right? So, why Japanese music could be good for you, right? You'll generally be making way more progress if you enjoy immersion. So, I talk about this a lot, right? You don't want to be watching like the most boring content, like, you don't want to be watching like kids' stuff because it's really boring, and like most people don't have the tolerance to sit through that. I certainly don't, so I never did. I'm sure it can be helpful, but generally, what because at the start it's going to be so difficult to actually just kind of show up every single day and then do the actual immersion, right? If you can just make it a little more fun, like a little more like enticing, like you want to do it, right? You're gonna make way more progress if you do that. So, music can be good for you, obviously, and yeah, it's fun to listen to music all the time and stuff, but is it actually going to help you in your immersion, right? Is it actually going to help your Japanese? So, uh, the answer is not really. It's not amazing for immersion, and that's because a lot of the words, in songs, they're just pronounced differently, right? They're not pronounced how they're seen, and then the lyrics also differ a lot from how people actually speak, right? So, for example, if you have ever heard the Jujutsu Kaisen opening theme, right? Kai Kai Kitan, um, like the first couple lines are just like the words are like it's very rare vocab, right? Like you're not really going to hear those words that often. Um, but it also depends on what you listen to, right? Like a pop song is obviously gonna have more common vocab than like an EP for like an opening for like an isekai anime, right? But generally, it's not going to be like amazing for your immersion just because of how much the lyrics actually differ. Um, you know, the grammar structure of like sentences and stuff is going to be kind of whack. Like, it's going to be kind of mixed up, kind of messed up. Um, because they're not going for like perfect grammar. Obviously, it's a song, right? They just want to try to convey the emotion. So saying something that you hear in a song, like in a conversation, isn't always going to work just because it's written differently in the song for a reason. So, um, should you actually use Japanese music for immersion, right? The reason you clicked on this video. So yes, I think it's good because you can enjoy it, right? It's good immersion if you're enjoying it, but the best case is that you just listen to only Japanese music instead of English music or whatever other kind of music you listen to, right? If you want to go like full AJAP, which is that's what I'd recommend. Um, but you don't want to count music as your passive listening, right? You don't want to say you're passive listening when you're listening to music, because the music is just more of like, if you're having fun with it kind of thing, and you're like, maybe you have the lyrics up too, then it can be kind of fun for immersion. Maybe you can learn a little bit, learn some goofy new words, right? But generally, it's not going to be very good passive listening, because for passive listening you just want some like condensed audio of someone just speaking like good clear language, just with a lot of volume, right? So they're just not taking breaks, they're not pausing, right? And then as for song, there could be like a whole like 2 minute interlude or something, right? So don't use it for passive listening or active immersion, right? You don't want to make that your active immersion, definitely not. Your active immersion should be like anime, right? YouTube. So yeah, that's all I really have for this one kind of short video. Yeah, so I hope this had a little bit of value for you and answered any questions you maybe had about this topic.